So I was in the kitchen and I was preparing a sandwich that I got a couple days ago. But I know I'm not supposed to be eating that food right now. I need to be eating, real healthy, which Lynn's gonna be in a couple days. So I'll start then. I need to go to the grocery store and get all that. Excuse me, all that everything that I need to get. And I knew I needed to eat healthy yesterday too. And it was funny because um, first thing I did when I came home was I grabbed cookies and milk. That's all I've been eating for like a week. Just haven't really felt like eating much. Um, so I'm making that sandwich, and I remember um, I was eating something once, and I got a bone in it, right? So um, I'd noticed throughout the years I would get that, or there'd be something wrong with it. It might, have mold or something on it, and it was always when my daughter was young or my son, and I knew. Well, I didn't know then, but I was like, why do I always get the bones? But I always thank God it was me and not one of my kids because he could have choked on it, you know, or, um, yeah. So I was thinking about it, and it was about 3 years ago. I started noticing my daughter was getting the bones. So that told me that she loved me. But everyone's different. Like something that might happen repeatedly to you, and then it starts happening with someone else. That's how you know uh, that that person loves you, and they start to do things for you. You don't even have to ask. It's like they're reading your mind. I haven't had that since Ray's dad. He would just jump up and just take care of things. It wasn't very romantic, but he just knew always like the right time, when to do something. And there was love there, but I just couldn't compete with some of his addictions, and I wasn't going to. And I didn't chase him all around town either, looking for him. He asked me one time why I wouldn't do that. Well, my stepmother used to do that with my dad. And I used to tell her, we're here at home. Why are you doing that? Because I never could understand that. And I seen other people do it, and it's such a waste of time because you have children. You should really be home with your kids. You can't change that. That you can't change that until that person's ready to do whatever they need to do um, for themselves and for their family. They're going to do it. And if they don't do it, but I don't believe in chasing anybody. I mean, even as an adult, and my kids were gone, I still won't do it. That's not my problem. That's their problem. You can pray for them and just keep living your life and keep relying on God until you're fed up. I mean, I had this one friend, she was in complete debt because of her husband's addiction. And she was at her last end. I mean, she was trying everything in her power to stay with him. Until that person makes up their mind, that's where they be. You can't complain if you're going to stay in it. You love your husband or your wife unconditionally and you deal with it. Plain and simple. And I know that's really hard to do. Um, I mean, I can't personally, I couldn't think why. You have everything you need right here. It was very hurtful, and that's an area that I still need to work on. And all my husbands all worked away from home, so I still have my own time. But when they came home, I had to take care of them. And I don't like that. I won't do that. I'm not even going to do that now. But I guess until I find somebody that I'm actually in love with, I don't mind. I'm going to do that for you. But I still think there's a line there. You know. Um, and even now, like, um, I mean, I help my daughter and stuff. I probably could do more, but right now I'm just resting. I mean, I've helped a lot of families of addicts. I used to do that. I mean, I have. And the person keeps coming in my mind. He came in the room like this. He was angry, and it was just me and my best friend and him. And I just blurted out, if you go home and kill her, it's not gonna change anything, and it will leave the kids alone. And he asked me how I knew. I said, I don't know, but I knew. But I said, you can do things to protect your kids. So he did all that, and he ended up getting divorced. I'm so thankful that the Lord intervened that day. It makes me cry just thinking about it. I'm like, I have goosebumps in my whole entire body right now. Um, you know, that was when I was first walking with the Lord. That blew my mind too. Um, um, I just, I am happy. I am sad and disappointed about some things, and I'm trying to get that joy more open. Because I'm a real So when I had that last job, it was federal guidelines. So I read their employee book 3 times because I didn't want to offend anybody. Because I'm a jokester, I like to joke around. But because of that job, I was so worried. If I said one thing wrong, I mean, boom, I was going to be looking at charges. I was scared to death. I mean, I really was scared about a lot of things. It was just best I stayed quiet, and I did. I stayed quiet. Um, and they did everything they could to push my buttons, and it didn't work. Nothing they did worked. It bothered me though because every time I went back onto my shift, there'd be more and more supervisors in the room, and I thought, what is going on? But I had a feeling it was about me. I was the only one that was left out. I didn't know anything. But I was prayed. You know, I asked the Lord to be my rock. Every day I got out of that shower, I stood there and I was like, Father God, I need your rock. I need to stand on you today. And I did. I got through it each day. But it is what it is. There's that splinter headache again. That's what it does. Splits out. Every time I talk about that place. I Nobody should have that much clout. No one. I don't care who they are. You know, if I ever own a company again, I'll make sure that nobody knows what I look like, or I'll send people in for me. Always to make sure everything's being legit. Because it only takes that one, to wreck everything for somebody, and that's not right. And I would always have a place they could report. It would probably be a hotline outside of the company. Um, I mean, I've learned a lot of things since I went back to work here in the last, see, I started working when my daughter turned 16, 22, 5 years, and I've learned a lot. And I don't like what I see. It's disappointing, you know. So, if you have a disability and you let your employer know, I don't care what anybody says, nothing changes. You get picked on. You do. It's like you're the bigger target.